The time is 12 o'clock. Here is the Midday news. First, the top stories. Ogun building two dams to irrigate 3,600 hectares of farmland in the state. Controversy trails Babangida's open letter on the state of the nation. Kanu asks Fulani herders and their cattle to relocate to the state. Presidency to launch cancer screening for Nigerians. In foreign, heavy snowfall disrupts travel in Moscow, Russian capital. And Pope declares February 23 as World Fasting and Praying Day. Good afternoon, I am Aghemerio Oaikhenan, bringing you the news in detail shortly. And now the news in detail. Two new irrigation dams are being constructed in Ogun State to boost agricultural production in the state. Preliminary work is ongoing on the dam project to be sited at Oaikhenan and Ijebu in the Jeburemo axis of the state. The proposed Oaikhenan Dam is to irrigate 2,500 hectares of farmland, while the Jebu-Idode Dam will cover 1,100 hectares of farmland. Agriculture Commissioner Mrs. Adepeju Adebaju made this known while receiving the management officials of the Ogun-Osun River Basin Development Authority in her office at Okemoso in Abeokuta. Adebaju explained that the project is being implemented by the state government in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources. The two dam projects, according to the commissioner, will be completed within a year. Police say a group of headsmen placed under surveillance in Okweji near Abeokuta have left the state. Spokesman of the State Police Command, Abimbola Oyeyemi, who made this known to Rock City FM, says the headsmen, numbering 20, who arrived the area 2 weeks ago, left last week. Lawmakers in the State House of Assembly last Friday had expressed concern over the presence of the headsmen, who they claimed are being to parts of Abeokuta and Odeda. The State Police spokesman, however, says the headsmen left the area a few days after they were subjected to proper monitoring by the police special squads. Last Monday, the police say their preliminary investigation shows that the headsmen arrived the state from Kayama local government area of Kwara State on an invitation of a man who claimed to be a Bale to come and settle and graze their cattle in the town. Controversy is trailing an open letter credited to a former military ruler, General Ibrahim Babangida, on the state of the nation, which circulated widely in the media for several hours on Sunday. Babangida, in the first letter signed by his spokesman, Kashim Afegbua, asked President Muhammadu Buhari to leave office in 2019 for a new generation of leaders to move Nigeria to a digital age. Babangida, in the purported statement, says that although Buhari has the constitutional right to vote and be voted for, there always comes a time when one needs to sacrifice one's personal interest for the national interest. Hours later, Babangida, in a counter-statement distributed by a media distribution agency, PR Nigeria, dismisses his age over the letter, which quoted him asking Buhari not to seek re-election in 2019. The former military president says the content of the first letter is a personal view of his media aide, adding that he has unrestricted access to Buhari and does not need any sensational public correspondence to channel his views. Babangida's media aide, reacting to the counter letter, insists that the first letter, in which the former military president was quoted asking Buhari to go in 2019, is authentic. He alleged that Babangida endorsed the letter he circulated to the media, and that the counter letter be ignored. President of Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, Mr. Reverend Ignatius Kaigama, has called for a true change of heart to bring to an end the challenges facing the country. At the moment, Bishop Kaigama says Nigeria has been brought to a standstill by vices, including kidnapping, corruption, insurgency, as well as headsmen farmers clashes. Kaigama, speaking at the launch of the 2018 Lenten campaign in Jazz, acknowledges that the presidency has been asking Nigerians to imbibe change in order to overcome the challenges facing the country. The bishop, however, says the kind of change required to transform Nigeria could not come alone from the political class, but a change from the heart of Nigerians. Kano state government has asked Fulani herdsmen now in all parts of the country to relocate to the state. The state government says it has adequate land to accommodate herders and their cattle in several parts of the state, including Rogo, Gaya, Kura, Tudunwada, and Unungo. Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, who made the call at a forum in Kano, says the state is already ready to work with the federal government and international agencies to convert the Falgore Games Reserve into a modern grazing land. Falgore Games Reserves, according to the governor, can accommodate millions of herders and their cattle. He explains that herders in Kano State origin did not move to other states with their cattle because the state has adequate land for grazing their cattle, ranches, and traditional stock routes. Army says it has completely defeated the Boko Haram forces in the northeast region. The theater commander of Lafia Dole, Major General Roger Nicholas, announced this in Maiduguri at the inauguration of the Nigeria-Cameroon Military Joint Mission. He explained that the defeat was achieved by troops during the ongoing Operation Deep Punch, in which they had dislodged and occupied the tactical ground of Boko Haram forces in the Sambisa forest. The troops, according to the army commander, are now in the heart of Boko Haram enclave in Sambisa forest and in total control of the forest. The commander says Boko Haram fighters are either surrendering or on the run at the battlefront in the region. The presidency says it will launch a nationwide screening of Nigerians for common cases of cancer. The common cases of cancer, according to the presidency, include breast and cervical cancer in women and prostate cancer in men. Health Minister Professor Isaac Adewale made this known in Abuja at an event to mark the 2018 World Cancer Day. The minister urged adult Nigerians to undertake a physical exercise for at least 2.5 hours weekly and 1 hour for children. Meanwhile, over 100,000 Nigerians are being diagnosed of cancer yearly, according to the World Health Organization, WHO. Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Yokiya Amano, made this known at an event to mark the World Cancer Day in Abuja. The survival rate of Nigerians from the disease is put at ratio 1 to 5. According to the figure, in 2008, breast cancer killed 13 Nigerian women daily, while 14 of the male counterparts died daily from prostate cancer. Also in 2008, liver cancer killed 24 Nigerians daily, increasing to 32 in 2012. You're still listening to the media news on Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you foreign, business, and sport news. Please, just stay with us. On the foreign scene, Moscow, the Russian capital, has seen its heaviest snowfall in a day since records began, with more than 2,000 trees brought down and air travel disrupted. More than half the monthly average snow, 15 inches, fell on Saturday, beating the previous record from 1957. A falling tree and collapsing power line linked and killed one person and 5 others were injured. Snowfall is expected to ease out on Sunday night, but the temperature is expected to drop. Dozens of flights have been delayed at Russian capital's airports. Pope Francis has invited Roman Catholics, all Christians, and members of other religions to observe February 23 as a day of prayer, fasting, and initiatives for peace. Francis, while addressing tens of thousands of people in St. Peter's Square for his weekly blessing on Sunday, urged everyone to say no to violence and conflict. According to him, the appeal is because of the tragic prolonging of conflicts around the world. February 23 is a Friday in the first full week of the Christian season of Lent, during which fasting from food and extra acts of charity are encouraged as a sign of penitence. Francis said the prayers and fasting should be offered in a particular way for the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan. Now in business. African Development Bank (AFDB) has rated the performance of Nigeria's industrial sector as very poor. According to the report by the Continental Bank titled Industrialize Africa, Nigeria may have lost their position as the biggest economy on the continent. The report shows that South Africa is the highest in industrial gross domestic product (GDP) with 44.8%. It is followed by Egypt with 30.1%, Cote d'Ivoire 29%, Kenya 23.3%, and Ghana 21%. Others are Ethiopia 21%, Cameroon 17.9%, and Nigeria 13.1%. Finally, in the media news and sport news. Nigeria's dreams of a first African Nations Championship title were dashed on Sunday night when they suffered a 4-0 beating at the hands of host Morocco in the final in Casablanca. The Super Eagles played most of the second half with 10 men. They were outclassed by the Atlas Lions, who became the fourth different winners of the CHAN, joining DR Congo, Tunisia, and Libya on the honours board. Nigeria's Flamingos are walking on a tightrope to secure one of Africa's qualification tickets at the 2018 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup, following the 2-all draw at home with Cameroon. The qualifier played in Benin City saw Flamingos failing to hold on to the early lead through Vincent Precious' second-minute goal, allowing Cameroon to draw level. Flamingos must beat Cameroon away in Yaoundé in the return leg, holding in a fortnight to book their place in Uruguay later in the year. Nigeria has participated in every edition of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup since it began in New Zealand in 2008, reaching the quarterfinals in Trinidad and Tobago 2010, Azerbaijan 2012, and Costa Rica in 2014. That was the major news, and just before we go, the major stories once again. Ogun building 2 dams to irrigate 3,600 hectares of farmland in the state. Controversy trailed Babangida's open letter on the state of the nation. Kanu asks Fulani herders and the cattle to relocate to the state. President said to launch cancer screening for Nigerians, and Foreign We reported that heavy snowfall disrupted travel in Moscow, Russian capital, and also Pope declared February 23 as World Fasting and Praying Day. For more stories and to listen to us live, please log on to our website www.rockcityfmradio.com/live. Thank you so much for listening. I am Aghemerio, Oaikhenan. Good afternoon.